Yes. Uh,
Hello, can you hear me? Hi.
Hey, Charlotte, we can hear you. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Shanak. How are you?
Good, Nagaraj. How are you?
Good, good. Okay, we'll get started.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Welcome and thank you for this joining the webinar on accelerating analytics with QuickSight. We have a packed agenda with some very cool QuickSight demos. QuickSight, as many of you know, is an ML-enabled embedded business intelligence service from AWS that augments data and intelligence through powerful visualizations and seamless integration in the enterprise. First and foremost, I want to thank AWS and ITTStar for inviting me and my team at the University of New Hampshire for supporting this event. My name is Nagaraj Bukkapatnam. I am the Director of Center for Business Analytics at the University of New Hampshire. I'm very excited to share the podium with Shaunak Chandra, who is a worldwide partner solution architect and a QuickSight specialist at AWS. Having worked with him in the past on a few projects, I'm always impressed with his expertise in data and analytics. To be very frank, I'm yet to hear a question from a customer that he cannot answer. Thank you, Shaunak, for joining.
You're welcome, Nagaraj.
So the agenda for this meeting is as follows. I'll start with some brief introduction. We'll talk about what ITTStar is. We'll talk about the Center for Business Analytics, where I serve, and followed by Shaunak, who is going to talk about the QuickSight, the service itself, the features, functionality, and what it can do. It will be followed by a few case studies that we'll discuss and the problems that we solved. And last but not the least, we will open up for Q&A from the audience. First and foremost, ITTStar, who is one of the co-sponsors for this event, is an AWS advanced partner, primarily focused on developing solutions in business intelligence and artificial intelligence. They have more than 30 plus certified AWS professionals with expertise in many areas. And they have helped companies develop and build technologies and platforms. Recently, they have been voted as one of the top 10 most innovative BI companies in Alpharetta, Atlanta. Last but not the least, they have recently also announced a partnership with UNH for developing and absorbing talent. The Center for Business Analytics, which is part of the Paul College at University of New Hampshire, reflects one of the most innovative visions. We are focused on partnering with individuals and institutions on knowledge sharing and keeping everyone future relevant. The second goal is to create labs of excellence that will offer students, researchers, faculty with systems that will reduce the gap between experience and expectation. The third thing we do there is focus on transforming the foundational knowledge that students receive through instruction to industry knowledge through training focused on tools and technologies. So before I start talking about the case studies, I would hand it over to Shaunak to talk about QuickSight. Shaunak, all yours.
Thank you, Nagaraj. Just give me a second. Yeah, I need to share the screen. Can you please enable me to share my screen? All right. Hope you can see my screen with a slide that says Modernize BI with QuickSight. Can you confirm quickly?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining this nice webinar that ITTStar is sponsoring. So we'd love to hear about ITTStar, but I'll just go through very quickly what a Amazon QuickSight service is in terms of business intelligence solutions on the cloud and how you can modernize your BI with Amazon QuickSight. So let's get started. So this is the brief agenda on QuickSight, just an overview of QuickSight, the main features, and then I will start with the QuickSight Q demo, which fortunately was released last week. It was announced in last reInvent in 2020 December, and we have been listening to a customer on different feedbacks there. It was on public preview for some time. And finally, it got released last week with all the feedbacks incorporated and fine tuning that our software team has been doing. And then I can take questions afterwards. So why QuickSight as a new BI solutions? Why is it different from other BI solutions that you have been using in the market, right? At AWS, we have learned from our retail roots from Amazon.com to work backward from our customers. We focus on how we can make their experience much easier with what they are experiencing. These same principles apply to analytics today. As Gartner stated in 2021 Magic Quadrant, we have a new class of analytics user, which are called augmented consumer, is on the rise. These augmented consumers are large groups of non-technical users. Typically, they are frontline workers that expect insights to find all sorts of informations. Like our shopping experience, the better the recommendations or data insights and the autonomy to access content via search, the stickier we can make our applications. And the stickier the application, the more loyal the users. Now, if we look back to our AWS experience, if these basic principles work for retail shopping experience, then we know they will work for those same users in an analytics settings. It follows another design principle, which we call leveraged learning. And consumers today have too many different interfaces to learn, and these interfaces now need to conform to what the client already knows. And these kind of operations are search, recommendations, augmented insights. And if it does not, it will likely not to be used by the users. So with that, let's take a look at how QuickSight is going to make those augmented insights. To enable insights on demand, you have to do things differently than from how they have been done in the past. For example, in QuickSight, we use our priority random cut forest algorithm, which is a machine learning based algorithm developed by Amazon and drives forecasting in Amazon.com. The same philosophy and same framework on random cut forest algorithm has been applied in QuickSight that supports our anomaly detection, multidimensional forecasting. We also added support from bringing your own machine learning through SageMaker. So for data scientists, resident data scientists who wants to run their own model, have their own algorithm, have their own fine tuning and everything, they can bring that same algorithm and integrate with QuickSight and then can derive business value from their data. In QuickSight, we do have also visualizations as any other BI tool provides, but on top of it, we can also translate text and can provide you answer in the form of visuals. So typically, if you can think of a business user who has many different questions, but they are very much focused on they are driven by what has been available in terms of dashboards and reports, and there has been a bottleneck by the thinly staffed BI team. So in that case, they can ask ad hoc queries by typing simple questions, and then they can get answers in visuals. So this is the QuickSight Q, which was launched last week. Now, the QuickSight as BI solutions, it's available in desktop, but it can be also available from different kind of mobile devices, whether it's an iOS device or Android devices. And they can also perform all sorts of BI operations with the drilling, zoom, filtering, or navigating to a different dashboard, or navigating outside your QuickSight. So all of those performance, all of those activity you can perform using QuickSight. Now, the second thing is QuickSight being a cloud native solutions. So that means you do not have to manage any server, you do not have to manage any software. So any software update or any kind of patch that gets added are automatically rippled to every consumer, every customer. So they don't have to apply any patch, they don't have to apply any software upgrade. So being cloud native also helps you to scale from tens of users to thousands and probably millions of users with no downtime and no server to manage. And because it runs on AWS, you don't have to worry about performance, you don't have to worry about hardware availability, you don't have to worry about disaster recovery, you don't have to worry about scaling. So these are the few things which are pretty much non-functional are being managed behind the scene. QuickSight is also very much developer friendly. As with any other AWS services, we have a pack of SDKs, software development kit, APIs that you can use to embed QuickSight experience into your own web portal, as well as in your own web service, be it an internal web server or web portal, or be it an external facing web portal. You can apply QuickSight experience, the full QuickSight experience, including authoring, including consuming, as well as QuickSight Q experience in your web portal without your user to log into QuickSight portal. There is direct native integration of QuickSight with many AWS services, as you could imagine. Popular data services like Redshift, Athena, Aurora, RDS. You can connect easily and get data from these services to draw insights in a very fast and effective way. You could also integrate QuickSight with your data lake, especially if you have created a centralized data lake using AWS Lake Formation. You can manage your security, you can manage row-level security, column-level security. All of those features you can use from Lake Formations, and QuickSight will respect whatever you have security mechanism you have put in the Lake Formation. And to me, I think the most exciting part of QuickSight, as I talk to many different customers and our partner community, is its pricing mechanism. QuickSight is one of the first services in the BI place that has session-based pricing model, compared to in many BI product that you see in the market has user-based pricing model. So let's talk about what the session-based pricing model looks like. When a user logs into QuickSight and start, consuming a dashboard, navigating to the dashboard, and then, clicking, drill down, drill up, or zooming. So going into more detail, as and when the customer or the user is interacting, that is considered as a session. So the time the user logs in and start navigating to the dashboard, that's when the session time starts. And it will keep a clock until 30 minutes. So that's the 30-minute is a session in QuickSight, and you are getting charged for the 30 minutes increments. If the user logs out before 30 minutes, gets the answer that he or she is looking for, then the session starts right away. If the user gets continuing beyond 30 minutes. So the session will automatically be incremented without any intervention, and user don't even know, but your pricing clock will keep going. So you'll automatically gets into the new session in terms of pricing. So this each session of 30 minutes increment is considered as one session, which is charged at 30 cents, 30 US cents per session. And at the end of the month, if you're consuming about 18 those number of sessions, you're not getting charged beyond those. So that means the $5 cap per user per month is what QuickSight is charging for. So this is on-demand pricing model, which is any user or any customer can start start affording from QuickSight. But if you're an enterprise customer, you can take advantage of our capacity-based pricing model, where the more capacity you buy upfront, the less you have to pay per session. So you can look up the QuickSight capacity-based pricing model. Just to give a understanding, with QuickSight capacity-based pricing model, if you're purchasing 2 million sessions per month, that will charge about $320,000 per year. And again, there's no hardware to manage, no software to patch. You will get instantaneous concurrency, and all of those sweet stuff is already embedded in QuickSight. So that's in a nutshell of what QuickSight service is. Let me just walk through the main features of QuickSight. So QuickSight is a serverless BI product being run on the cloud. You don't have to manage any hardware or software. If you compare that against traditional BI, which is licensed by and limited to a fixed amount of hardware resources, and because of they have fixed amount of hardware resources, you have to manage your users, you have to manage the concurrency, and more complex queries are going to impact your performance across all your users, which effectively require more capacity to be added, and that leads to a higher and higher cost. In a traditional BI model, the BI team has to worry about buying more capacity than what they need, or deal with slow performance, which is absolutely disaster. With QuickSight, customers have access to the power and scale of AWS Cloud. Users get consistent performance no matter the concurrency or scale of the user, whether it's in hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands. It also ensures that your users don't have to deal with slow dashboards during peak hours when multiple BI users are accessing the same dashboards or datasets. And with the consumption-based pay per session pricing, you only pay when your users are accessing the dashboards or reports. There are no upfront costs or no annual commitment for using QuickSight, so it's cost-effective for BI deployment at scale. Using QuickSight, you can create beautiful interactive dashboards. If you are building dashboards in other tools, then you can also take that same experience, very little learning curve to learn QuickSight. We'll talk about that later on, but it's a very little learning curve to learn QuickSight. And this is a purpose built for BI, so you can build visuals like bar chart, line chart, tree map, heat map, or even bring your tabular kind of charts like pivot table, regular table, advanced chart like funnels, Sankey, geospatial are built and delivered using QuickSight. QuickSight is a web-based UI. That means you don't have to download any software and maintain in your client, in your machine. You can access the entire QuickSight experience in web. You can use all sorts of interactivity, filter, drill down, drill up, navigation across visuals, across sheets, or even outside your QuickSight to a different URL. You can access dashboards using laptop, mobile, and notebook, and connectivity to data using direct query if you need to more fresh data set, or you can cache it into a spice layer, which is QuickSight's in-memory computation engine. So there are more ways to access QuickSight. Not only you can log in the web console and then access those dashboards, QuickSight reports can be delivered to your inbox. So your users doesn't even need to log into QuickSight. You can get your report delivered. You can set up some alert mechanism. For example, if there's a sales that meets the threshold or beyond threshold, you can set an alert and it will send out reports to your end users. So your end users does not need to monitor these BI dashboards. Now, there's a whole lot of machine learning that you as a user can leverage using QuickSight. And the way that we have built this machine learning capability cater from very low to low code, as well as if you're a citizen data scientist, you can bring in your own code, own machine learning code. So few of these machine learning are auto narratives. So auto narrative is suggestion that is given by QuickSight by looking at what are the different charts that you have put in your dashboards. And based on that, QuickSight reads all of those charts, metrics and everything, and suggests, what are the some common narratives that your end users might be interested. For example, top mover or forecasting, bottom mover, top mover, period over period, and all of these are highest month or highest industry. All of those are suggested by QuickSight, and you can just embed those narrative into your dashboard, from which your end users can get very quick data point. Not only that, you can also go to those auto narratives and you can build your own narratives. You can also customize those narratives. So there is a bit of coding that you could enhance your auto narrative expressions. Then there is on anomaly detection and forecasting. These are inbuilt, so you don't have to bring your own model. This is already out of the box using an anomaly detection, which reads through thousands and millions of data points across the time series data, helps your customer and your users to find anomaly in your business process. For example, if you have a time series sales data, it will pick up which are the countries or which are the customers that contributed to major anomaly in the period of time. And as a reader, you can actually go to those anomaly and find out and do what if kind of analysis across many different dimensions. Forecasting is similar. You can forecast using your time series data, and you don't have to build your own model. QuickSight will look through all of those data points in the past, and it will apply a forecasting model. And then ML prediction is where your citizen data scientist wants to bring their own regression or classification model to bring into QuickSight. They can do that using the data and then get outcome of your QuickSight or the ML model. QuickSight Q, I'm going to talk about QuickSight Q. QuickSight Q is our natural language-based query processing. That means your end users can ask question in simple terms. They don't have to learn any specific syntax or anything. They can just type in plain simple English to ask QuickSight what they're looking for, and QuickSight will just decipher that question and then turn that into visualizations. So the end users can ask ad hoc questions and then get answer right away. So they don't have to rely on thinly staffed BI team to wait for months, weeks, or months to get the data that they were looking for, so that your end users can direct answer, as well as your BI developers can have good time or more productive time by developing and building more data model, fine-tuning their stuff, fine-tuning what they're building, and then helping their end users to derive more data and more insight from your business process. So I'll just give a quick demo of QuickSight Q, but I think I mentioned about what a QuickSight Q is. It's really going to be helpful for your business users to derive ad hoc outcome or insights without looking into different charts. And second of all, it will benefit your business users to ask questions in natural language. And the other thing is that your end users or your authors who are BI developers can fine-tune different experience that their end users are experiencing to make it more natural for your end users to ask questions. And last but not the least, you can also embed the full QuickSight experience into your own web portal by embedding dashboards. As I mentioned, there are several APIs and SDKs available. So if you want to embed your dashboard, QuickSight dashboard into your HR systems or marketing systems, or even third-party products like ServiceNow or Salesforce, your Salesforce developer or ServiceNow developers can embed these dashboards into your web portal. So let's jump into the demo. Let me just stop sharing because I need to share a different screen. Okay, sorry about that. Just give me a quick second here. Here you go. All right, so this is a QuickSight console. If you are using AWS QuickSight console, then this is where you land. But obviously, if you are embedding the QuickSight experience into your own web portal, then you'll have your own logo, maybe the different other iframe that's where the QuickSight is embedded. But essentially in QuickSight Q, which is a natural language-based query, you will get a QuickSight Q bar. Like here, you can see hospital insights, and your end users will see what are the different insights or topics. We call it as a topic that they have access to. So for example, I come here and then I see there's a hospital's insight topic that I can ask a question. And if you're coming for the first time as a user and don't know what this hospital insights topic has, so you can quickly navigate and find out details. There are some sample questions that you can get started with, such as, show me revenue by service by East and South Hospital, show me trend of revenue versus profit in 2018. So you have a set of sample questions that you can get started with. But if you are an advanced user, if you have good experience with topic and QuickSight Q, you can quickly look at different topic fields that are available for you to further driving insights. For example, I have a category, I have a function, I have hospital, I have physician, service. So these are the different dimensions that I can query on. And then also there are certain metrics like profit, price, discount, cost, revenue. So all of these different metrics that I might be interested on. So, so that's about quickly getting started with your QuickSight Q. Let's take an example of how QuickSight Q can answer your ad hoc question. So first of all, I don't know about what the data set looks like. So I will start my interaction with QuickSight Q will start getting started with showing what are the trends or what are the different months data that's available out there. So I will type question, show me annual sales trend, right? So I'll just type that question. As you can see, all the history questions is coming in there, but I'll just enter and it will show me the sales trend from 2015 to 2018 on a year over year. So you can see the admit date is the field that it has appended for the year. So you can look at, what is the revenue that it has. It has also deciphered sales as my revenue and have provided that data point. All right. So, and I know at this point that I have data from 2015 through 2018. So definitely I'm not going to get interested with my previous years. So I will start digging more detail, asking question to QuickSight Q, show me monthly sales trend in 2018, and maybe I will start by let's say hospital. So as you're typing in, it gives you auto suggestions. You can take any of those suggestions. And again, these suggestions are picked up from all the different dimensions, all the different metrics. So it does not need to be in a specific dimension. So just type in and then enter, and quickly it understands that monthly is tried, or monthly is a term that is attached to a date, but there are a couple of date options are there. There's an admit date and discharge date. So it will ask you whether you want to look it at admit date or discharge date. So I will pick admit date. And this is how this data is presented. And again, the cardinality and everything, how many rows you expect. So based on that, it will show you, but you can change the visual to a different visual type like line chart. So this is perfect, right? So it shows 3 different hospitals I have, and I have data point from January 2018 to December 2018. And some of the hospitals are working good. Some of the hospitals are not. For example, here I can see the downtown hospital is pretty much sluggish, but whereas North Hospital and the South Hospital are doing good. All right, so the South Hospital, I'm really interested to look at this purple line, right? So I want to find out what are the different services being served in my South Hospital. So I'll ask you, show me top services by sales in South Hospital in 2018. So ask Q, again, 2018, it quickly understood its date column. So I'll just ask till it that it's admin date. And it gives you all the different services being served in South Hospital in 2018, and also give you a bar chart, horizontal bar chart by revenue or the sales. So this is pretty good, right? So you see the South Hospital has investigative protocol as one of the surveys, and then you have surgery, heart services, neuro orthopedic services. So all these different kind of services being served in North Hospital or South Hospital. And if you, as a user, if you want to look at in a different form, you can do that. Different other chart types are available. For example, donut chart or pie chart, and many different other charts options are available out there. One thing you could also do, since you have suggested QuickSight Q that I want to see the date like 2018 by admit date. So you can quickly, you get a suggestion like a synonym. So since you have directed QuickSight Q that 2018 to be treated as my admit date, you can take it as a synonym suggestions, and going forward, every time you type in a date, it will not ask you whether you want to see it as an admit date or discharge date. So going forward, your experience will be much smooth. So this is some of the feedback you as an user can provide QuickSight Q to better your experience going forward. And if you are satisfied with the answer that you have received, you can give a thumbs up, or if you're not satisfied, give you a thumbs down. And all of these feedbacks are going to get visible to your BI developer. We call it an author, and they can fine tune some of the dissatisfied questions. They can add alias, for example, simple business terms like sales, which are probably not part of your field, so they can add it. And we have the sales, which is a placeholder or namesake for revenue, which is a field. Revenue is a field in your data set, but sales is not. So those kind of questions, those kind of enhancements, your author and BI developer can do. So that's in a nutshell a demo on QuickSight Q. And again, this is launched last week. So we're really excited to have it available to all of our users so that they can run business analytics using natural language. And we'll see more adoption across all of our customers. So that's it from me for now. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will take any question if you have. You can type in your question, and we should be able to address those.
Shanak, I have some questions coming on the sideline here. I'll ask. So in terms of connectivity, like where does the data have to reside? Do they need to start up with, like, does it have to be in Amazon data sources, or can it interact with any?
Yeah, so there are a couple of ways that you can bring QuickSight data into QuickSight. One is direct query, where every time your users are interacting with the dashboard, like drill down, drill up, or navigation, it will hit your data source, which can reside in AWS, Redshift, Aurora, Athena, S3, Elasticsearch, any of these services. But it can also reside in your on-premise, whether it's a Teradata, or it can be a third-party product like Snowflake data warehouse, or it could be in Salesforce, ServiceNow. It can ingest from there. If you are having a data source in your on-premises, whether it's in a SQL Server or MySQL or SAP HANA or maybe Oracle, it can also ingest from there. It can be ingested directly from those data sources, or it can be transferred into Spice in-memory capacity engine, so that can cater to your end users for faster experience.
That's great. Another question I have is in terms of you talked about the insights, like automatically generating the insights. So is there any specific data it is good at, like, for example, retail, or here you are showing the hospital experience, right? Are there any specific domains QuickSight is good at?
This is completely domain agnostic. You can have any kind of data set that you can bring. And as long as you have metrics and category, which I'm sure every data set has, it can serve that purpose. It does not need to be any domain specific. It's completely a technology platform for you.
Because one of the customers is looking to integrate with their finance portal. So that's the reason they have this question in terms of how well it will work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It would provide you. So this is just a demo. And we have in AWS, we have programs like AWS Data Lab. So if you're interested to get more insights and how you can bring your own data to create some of this QuickSight Q topic, I would advise, or I would suggest to sign up for the QuickSight Q Data Lab program.
Q Data, that's awesome. I have another question from Kole. He says, what does the setup process look like for developers?
Yeah, so from a developer's perspective, it does not require, again, this is a web-based tool, so you don't need to have any software in your client or in your machine. All you need to have a QuickSight or AWS account and QuickSight enable. In every QuickSight account, if you're the owner of the AWS account, then you will get a free of cost one single admin account, which would be free for your lifetime of the AWS account. But if you want to add more authors, so we call it author in QuickSight for developers, BI developers. So if you are adding authors in your QuickSight, then it would be charged $18 per month for enterprise edition and $24 a month for the other regular edition. But yes, so you can come in, join into the QuickSight, and then you can start developing. You can build your data set by connecting to your data source, or you can just upload a file, CSV, Excel, CLF, any kind of file, and start building your dashboards. So there is a QuickSight YouTube channel where we regularly post different videos around how to build dashboards, different sorts of dashboards, insights, QuickSight Q. So I would encourage you to go in QuickSight, the YouTube, and look for QuickSight QuickSight channel. A lot of video posted out there. But in terms of developer experience, all you need is a QuickSight account, AWS account in QuickSight, and then start building your data set and then start developing your dashboard.
That's great. So Sonak, essentially there will be, as an individual user, you should be able to just go online, sign up, and play around with QuickSight with ease.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I have another question from Tevik. He talks about, you mentioned the possibility of adding your own ML models. How easy is the integration from a model that is written in R or Python?
So if it is written in R and Python, there is no direct connectivity with QuickSight. It has to be ported into SageMaker. Obviously, if it is written in Python, then you can put that into your SageMaker, and then you can have an inference instance up and running. Sorry, you don't have to run an inference instance up and running. You can have your model deployed in SageMaker, and you just add your data in QuickSight and have that output level that you want to draw inference on. Send that to your SageMaker, which is a process that you can, which you have to define in QuickSight. And every time you refresh that data set, is going to get spin up an inference instance in SageMaker, and then derive the outcome, and then get the data out, and you will see the outcome from SageMaker.
Okay. I have another question from Goxel. So he says that Amazon uses its BI software for logical business decision to enabling its massive supply chain to run smoothly and optimizing shipping routines and allocating inventory. How are universities using business intelligence?
That's a good question. So honestly, the honest answer is I don't have those insights about how different businesses are using it, but I would encourage to get connected to our BDs, GTM BDs, business development teams. They can help you out with addressing those questions.
And also, as a practitioner versus as a learner, right? Like, what are the features that you think that the audience should know? Like that
So
from
yeah, so it's a purpose-built BI tool. So obviously, if you want to use BA, business intelligence, for your business users, that's the primary use case. And within that business intelligence use case, the machine learning, for example, forecasting, anomaly detection, narrative, these are definitely some of the major features that you can leverage on, because you don't have to bring any of the machine learning model, but your process or your data-driven decision making is going to be addressed by machine learning. The second one, I would definitely encourage to look at the embedded embedding, which is awesome feature. Essentially, you don't have your end users will get a smooth experience and very little contextual shifting from their business portal to a different BI tool. So I would encourage that as a prior as a main feature of QuickSight.
So this is awesome. Sonak, I think people are excited to learn about QuickSight a lot. One question is in terms of what are the programs available? Like you mentioned about the labs from AWS, where if we sign up, or if the audience signs up, they will get some access. But as a business owner, are there any specific partner programs or anything that are available for them to sign up and like to start with proof of concept or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. I think ITTStar is one of the partners that we are working with, but essentially for QuickSight, we call it, we have a partner network in AWS, a part of AWS partner network, or in short APN, and each partners are also vetted through different services and capabilities around data analytics. So you do have data analytics competency partners, as well as partners who are going deep into specific services like Redshift, QuickSight, EMR. So we do have service delivery partners. So we have designated certain criteria, have some use cases with their customers, and then how good they are on those services. So definitely you can find those details by going to APN service delivery program, and you can see what are the different partners by different services and data analytics competency. So that's the single place where you can self-serve yourself by finding which partners are there who you can reach out to.
The last question is in terms of the models, right? Like I'll extend to like what Devik's question was. You talked about a couple of models that are natively supported by QuickSight, like the random forest and so on and so forth. Like, do you see more models being added, and if they are, like what kind of models are going to come up in the future?
So this is like the forecasting being used Amazon.com. So that's pretty much fixed. We don't expect anything, but in terms of future model or in terms of your own model, you can learn, you can have it in SageMaker and then integrate that with QuickSight. But again, so right now we have only regression and classification is supported from SageMaker. So other cool thing about QuickSight, and I'm exploring myself, is there is a visual type which is a custom visual type where you can embed an external URL into QuickSight. So for example, you can embed a wiki page, or you can embed a visual like a graph, or you can embed an audio or video. So like that, you can embed a kind of quick survey form, right? Which is actually an external facing. And you can use that form to set some parameters that your user are going to plug in. And that once you submit that form, it's going to trigger that external process that you have set up behind the scene. And then you can feed that data into another data analytics services like Redshift or Aurora, which can be posted into your web portal or into your QuickSight. So that's one thing that's available, which I'm saying, which the particular visual type I was talking about here is the custom visual that you as a developer can make use of to run, supported or run ML models that are not directly supported with SageMaker integration.
That is awesome, Shaunak. Personally, I have seen customers asking for it, and of course, we went through some backdoor and fixed it. But that's a great feature to add. And personally, like I have integrated the QuickSight with DPR on the SageMaker. The integration is seamless. Like I can vouch for that.
Awesome. Nice to hear that.
Thank you, Shaunak. So, if there are no other questions, then I'll briefly talk about a couple of use cases, and then we'll open up the forum for any questions beyond that. So, okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. So we'll talk about two examples in this particular scenario. So in one case, we'll talk about how the QuickSight helps enterprises transition into a data-driven organizations, empowering teams with insights and intelligence. The two examples, one example talks about how QuickSight works as an embedded analytics tool that can seamlessly integrate with enterprise application. And in the second use case, we'll talk about how QuickSight was used to enhance a custom product or a platform that was developed in retail. So the first and foremost, we'll talk about what we call as the hospitality. Due to the confidentiality of the client, we did not put a lot of names, but the use case is so powerful to talk on many of the features that QuickSight has supported. First and foremost, able to let me start with the challenge. The challenge was we all know that when we check into hotels, we all need Wi-Fi, especially if you're a business user. So the challenge the customer was facing was the users were constantly complaining, especially their top customers were complaining about dropped Wi-Fi. So the hotel chain was trying to understand where the problem was. So there are like hundreds and thousands of devices across the globe, and as you know, right, like we are holding our cell phone or laptop moving around the rooms or moving in the corridor. So basically, essentially, they are touching the many points. So they didn't know where the challenge was. So the ITTStar and the team sort of started looking at the device logs, there was no specific API. So they were able to collect the logs from all these various devices, then the transform and aggregate the data, clean up, and then used it for three different purposes. Like the first and foremost, have a quick dashboard of the original data as to what is happening. Second purpose was able to proactively or alert when there was an issue happening. Third, last but not the least, able to use this data to develop models so that they can predict which device is going to cause issues. So in that context, I'll show you a couple of. So this is the solution. So as you can see, the devices are spitting out a lot of logs, whether it is like error, whether it's a warning, whether it is just a status. So there's a rapid flow of this data that has been used by Kinesis to transform into S3. And once the data is defined, it was used for dashboarding and also the further analysis. Due to the confidentiality, again, we'll show you the screenshots of the dashboard. Here you can see that we use the QuickSight native feature of geospatial mapping. You can recognize or you can map it by the cities, or if you just know the longitude and latitude, you should be able to use the same to pinpoint. And from each of these devices, all the data that is collected, you can see how the users were disconnecting from a particular network. So whether it is they're just logging out or they're stationary, they're sitting, and all of a sudden their network crashes, or it gets disconnected when they're roaming from one end to another. As you can see, this is another representation. Here I put in all the city names. We put in only the city names, not with the location. But so what it indicates is Anything with a light shade indicates there was bad connection. As a dark connection, dark shade or dark blue means everything was looking good. So this was primarily used by the so-called the NOCs or the operation at the at the central monitoring station to see what was happening and dispatch the troubleshooting team. Here, this is one of my favorite charts because for every, so here what is blacked out is all like they are all the MAC IDs, so that we are able to track the experience of the customer on a day-to-day basis. So you can see like there are days, there are good days, bad days, within the same day how the customer was experiencing that network, the network issues, if any, and how intense the problem was. The last one is able to provide information about particular zone. So as Shaunak was saying, right, there are different users, there are different settings within QuickSight where you will be able to give permissions to users, whether you are the admin who is the whole and soul who can manage everything happening on the QuickSight, to author who can create, or just an end user who can just visualize the data. So when you have so many roles that are playing, that are leveraging the data, QuickSight has a very easy way of separating out those, providing an access, providing security, providing the access control through like a custom login, or in this case, they have used Active Directory, where as soon as the person logs in, they'll be able to see their specific screen based on the zone and location and quickly decide what the next step should be. This one is another classic use case. We all talk about purchase intents when you are surfing on the web, when you are trying to buy products. Here, this company was trying to develop a platform that can harness the data in real time. So as the customers are browsing through various various pages, looking at different products, how do you? Typically, what happens is like you'll see the customer browses a product and there's a recommendation. Then like customers also bought this, or you can compare with similar model, some other models. But in this case, they wanted to understand at a seller level, how can we augment, how can we change, whether it is pricing, whether it is discounting, anything like that, so that it will increase the purchase intent. So as we all know, first and foremost, let me show you the solution. Here it looks as Kinesis again. It provides all the data is again stored in S3. So first and foremost, like this is all serverless. Then this takes it is very cost effective, and more importantly, the amount of data that is coming through because of the user interaction, whether it's page navigation, click rate, turnover rate, completion rate, all this data has been processed through a pipeline from Kinesis Firehose. It goes to SQS, and then triggered by Lambda. And then also Lambda is again used for deriving some user-specific analytics, and finally stored in Aurora. And QuickSight was used. I'll show the real demo of how the QuickSight was able to handle this data. But as you can see, the amount, the variety, and the volume of the data able to handle is something that that is pretty unique here. So let me go to the actual demo. Okay, all can see the screen. So this was the dashboard that was developed for this. So here, as an end user, you can see the overall, like what products are being sold, what are not being sold, what are the top 20 brands that are getting sold, what are being sold, what is not being sold, and so on and so forth. And you can look at the revenue. Then here there are like these orders per minute. You can say, oh, look, I don't want orders per minute. Maybe like give me an orders per hour. So they can look at orders per hour. And for each order, they'll be able to track real-time revenue collection or intent. And then you can also see which states or which regions are going are more likely to buy a product when it is discounted. So you can say, based on all the demographics data, you can change the customer, change the you can introduce what we all call as the dynamic pricing, and you have the sales and marketing background. So due to the confidentiality, again, we don't see the actual product, but you can see like what are the customers, where are the customers buying, what are the two top customers intents, and here are the products that are being sold. So this is one of the use cases. So you should this particular use case, one of the reasons it got the visibility it has right now is because it can scale up to almost like 1 million records a minute. So that kind of volume, QuickSight can handle. So the entire solution can handle, and QuickSight will be able to show that. If you want to see more demos, please feel free to visit ITTStar.ai Analytics Insights site. You can see many of the interactive dashboards and different use cases, and customer 360 is right there. There's one insurance which talks about how the pattern of like how the customers are using. And if anyone of you is interested in actually like playing around with QuickSight, like feel free to request for admin access. You will really love various dashboards that you can create. In terms of enabling, it's pretty straightforward. ITTStar has different packages where customers can quickly sign up, get the dashboards, and it can range from 15,000 to 60 grand based on how deep the interaction is. Beyond QuickSight, ITTStar is known for their other competencies in automation. They have a very strong data engineering team, which they are known for data analytics. They do a lot of custom application development, whether it's on analytics or anything. And last but not the least, managed services, where they can take care of business while you take care of your customers. So for more information, this is their website, ITTStar.com. You can always reach out to them at inquiries@ITTStar.com, and this is the phone number. As far as the Center for Business Analytics, anyone interested in partnering, feel free to reach out to me. These are the details here. I think we ran out of time for questions. I think Shaunak answered a lot of questions regarding QuickSight. Would like to thank AWS, ITTStar, and University of New Hampshire for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.